Right. We are live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Oh, hold on. Let me fix this real quick. There we go. All right, a little better on camera now. Welcome back to another edition of Saturday Night Tech Fights, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, we have another battle in the camera realm, in the camera space for you gentlemen and ladies this evening. Now, last Saturday Night Tech Fight, you guys got to see the lover of tech defend his title against Brooks Media, aka Sean Brooks. And unfortunately, the man across the pond was dethroned last time we had a battle. But someone was waiting in the ranks to take that belt from him as soon as he got it, aka Mr. Original Dobo issued a challenge, and that is what we are here tonight to settle, folks. So I'm going to bring in everybody. And I'm going to go ahead and bring in my reigning champ, Mr. Sean Be Nice. How you doing tonight, brother?
Hey, in the building. How am I doing? I'm Killmonger, bro. That's how I'm doing. I'm out here taking people's powers away. I'm good.
I got the challenger, Mr. Original Dobo, a.k.a. the Fierce Cougar. Love the shirt. I enjoy it. I got the one and only Mr. Tech Rant as a judge this evening. Now, they call him the Thanos of tech, so let's see what he does tonight if he snaps his fingers at anybody. Got the nose cam going. I like it. He's taking Ben's place with the nose cam tonight.
Nah, I ain't up in that shit.
And, of course, we got everybody's favorite, Adrian L.
Hello.
Well, so we have another judge this evening, lover of tech. Was supposed to be here. Kind of, got beat and then he came back to judge, but he's maybe having some connection issues. So we're going to let him take his time and get in. But in the meantime, I will take his place. So get ready for some fucked up judging. Now, that being said, folks, I'm going to go ahead and put this out there now. This is going to be a non-PG-13 stream. If you have small children, they do not need to watch this stream because it is not going to be a pleasant one. With that being said, super chats are wide open because YouTube ain't going to give me no money for this. So we're going to get into it. Now, we did change the rules a little bit after last week's battle. We decided that we're going to go and fine-tune a few things. So, gentlemen, here's how it's going to go down this week. Instead of 2.5 minutes to argue your side of the question, you have 1.5 minutes. So the time has been reduced, and you also have 3 minutes to go back and forth with each other. So got to get straight to the point. Make sure you come in with the facts, and we'll be good to go. And also the knockout rule still applies. You get knocked out twice, you know what it is. You're out, go home, cuddle up with your wife, and enjoy your night. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the first question. Sean, you are the reigning champ, so I will let you go ahead and decide if you want to go first or defer to Dobo before I put the question.
Oh, shit. I'm going first.
All right. The first question of the night, gentlemen, is DSLR or mirrorless? Which is better for a new content creator? And there's the lover of tech.
Sorry, connection was just going crazy.
It's all good.
Acting like Nelly.
What you got?
Oh, wait. Are you talking to me now? I thought you were talking to me. My bad. Were you talking to me? Oh, yeah. Oh,
So,
repeat it one more time.
DSLR versus mirrorless. Which is better for a new content creator?
Which is better? Okay. I got mirrorless.
You got mirrorless. All right. So you got 1.5 minutes on your clock, and your time is going to start now.
All right, what's going on, y'all? So listen, if you are a newbie to this camera world, mirrorless is going to be your best option. Number one, DSLR is kind of like old tech at this point. DSLR is when the camera actually has a mirror in it, which is a single lens reflection, very old technology at this point. Not the fact that it's not usable, but it's very old. But now mirrorless is very identical to the way you see and take pictures and do videos on your cell phone. So the way the image is hitting the sensor is the exact same replica of how the image is hitting the sensor on a mirrorless camera. So one, if you get this camera, yes, you're a newbie, but you're way more familiar with a mirrorless setup than you are with something like in a DSLR. On DSLR, there's a lot of things that you have to focus on. In most cases, you can't even sit there and make sure your exposure is correct. So with any changes you're doing, you're not gonna be able to see that because the only image you're getting is the mirror that's reflecting back what you already see. So any type of white balance changes that you need to make, ISO changes and all that, you won't see that after you take the pictures. Will put you at a really big disadvantage if someone's coming from something like a smartphone or any type of iPhone. Mirrorless, again, you get to see your white balance, you get to see your change in exposure, you get to make sure that your shot is perfect for how you see it. Any changes you make is going to be changed immediately right there on the mirrorless body, and this is something that cannot be done on a DSLR. Time.
All right. Dovo.
Okay. So
Are you ready?
yeah, I'm ready to roll.
Let's go.
All right. So first, for somebody who's actually shot on a DSLR camera and started out on a DSLR camera, I'd like to debunk, a lot of what Sean said, and the fact that yes, you can change your ISO and you can see your ISO. If you shoot on Canon, you can see those changes right there on the LCD screen. It's all right in front of you when you are in video mode. If we're specifically talking about a video creator, yes, you can also set your white balance, and you can tell immediately by looking at your LCD screen whether or not your white balance is correct. A DSLR camera is going to cost you a fraction of what a mirrorless camera would start. And for somebody who's just getting into the game and trying to figure out exactly what they want, and they don't really know, there's going to be a wider selection of lenses available to a DSLR camera versus a mirrorless camera. They're just superior as far as lens selection goes. And it's so much more affordable because when you just start out and you are a beginner, the last thing you want to do is shell out a lot of money for something that you don't know how to use. And a DSLR is just dead simple. The dials and everything are right there and available to you. Canon probably makes one of the best mirrorless cameras, and a lot of people still use DSLR cameras today. They're perfect. There's nothing wrong with having a mirror on a camera. Matter of fact, Canon just came out with the 90D, which is a DSLR camera. Time.
Okay. All right. So y'all got your 3 minutes. Let's go.
All right. So first mistake, Dobo, you made was you specified the DSLR to a Canon. Not all DSLRs are like that because there are definitely older Canons. There are Nikons, there are Pentax. These are all within a range of DSLR. So you can't specify which DSLR is better for mirrorless.
You're specifying that all mirrorless cameras are created equally because they're not.
All mirrorless cameras are created in the same sense the way the cell phone technology works. Just that it's
okay. So you've used multiple mirrorless cameras. Then you can definitively say that all mirrorless cameras are created equally because they're not created equally.
So DSLR when you say equal, are you what are you referring to?
The way they perform and act. I mean, you believe that only Canon can act one way, or maybe you say, well, if somebody wants to shoot on Nikon. Most DSLR cameras all have a digital output screen where you can see those changes on the fly. I don't know where you get the.
Not all, because name the DSLR
what
camera.
Camera doesn't allow you to see changes. Nikon what?
It was like an older Nikon D, whatever. But the point is, at the end of the day, with DSLRs, you also said that they are cheaper. You can get you a 4K mirrorless camera for $400, $300 used.
I can buy a DSLR camera right now, SL2 for $299.
Okay, so we're in the same ballpark then.
Perfect, $200.
So we're in the same
ready
ballpark
to go.
then. So we're already in the same ballpark.
It doesn't matter.
You said they were cheaper, but they're not cheaper. They're not cheaper.
You're saying
they're not cheaper.
$299 is cheap. $299.
Then $300. $299 is $300.
Hey, $1 that's $300. It's the Walmart effect.
Nah. Because if that's the case, I bought my G7 for $250. I bought my G7 for $250, which is a mirrorless camera. And then as far as the lens selection is concerned, mirrorless cameras have been out for more than enough and has more than whatever lens somebody needs to put on a mirrorless camera.
And I'll tell you right now, DSLR cameras have a tremendous amount of LED selection, more so than mirrorless cameras. I don't care if you think that's
But are we going to talk about how heavy DSLRs is and compared to mirrorless cameras?
Do you think a beginner is going to gripe about the weight of a camera? You think that a beginner is going to gripe about the weight of a camera?
A beginner is going to be like, man, why doesn't this work like my cell phone? And a mirrorless works exactly the way a beginner is
going to want to know that they're going to be able to use it easily, which a DSLR camera, you can operate easy. And if they get something dirty or they're not going to have lens spots, trust me. I've been there. I've been there,
So
and I still have
when they come across like a Nikon or older Nikon camera, when they cannot see their white balance, and they cannot see their exposure changes, how can they get their photos correct?
So let me get this straight. Mirrorless cameras are relatively new. So you're trying to throw at me that it's an older mirrorless camera.
I mean, bro, listen. Mirrorless camera.
You're trying to say that somebody would be looking at an older DSLR camera. While if we're going to compare, let's go apples to apples. If I'm going to buy a DSLR camera today, I'm going to try to buy something relatively new.
I'll give you one better. You said apples for apples. The camera that you named was $299. Does it shoot 4K?
It does not shoot 4K.
Oh, okay. Well.
All right. We're going to start with Trent. What do you have for that round, sir?
I am going with Dobo.
Okay. And Ben, who do you have?
Dobo.
Okay. Adrian.
Dobo.
Dang. Okay.
Knockout in the first round. Okay.
Hey, all right. So that means we got to have a knockout question. So, Sean, you're going to get a minute to argue this question. So the question I'm going to throw at you is, let's see. Ooh,
Wow.
I'm going to try to get a right one. I got a good one here.
Okay.
All right. Manual focus versus autofocus.
I get to pick either one I want.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'll go autofocus. Like I like saying like that's what you need, right?
Yeah. Which
one?
Okay, which one is better for, in the realm of a creator? Manual focus or autofocus?
Okay, yeah, I'll go autofocus.
Okay, gotcha. So you got a minute to go.
And starting now?
Yep.
All right. So if you are a new creator, if this is based upon specifically, if you're a new creator, autofocus is going to be definitely more capable for you than manual focus. The reason autofocus is better because if you do not know how to pull focus a certain way, if you are somebody who's running gunning by themselves, autofocus will save you. There's a lot of shots that you cannot do when you're trying to manual focus, especially if you're new to a camera. There's certain things as far as like the focus peak and as far as like f-stop. If you are trying to focus on something shallow as like a f1.4 and you're new to manual focus, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna miss a lot of those shots because you're not gonna know how to correctly focus for that shot versus something like autofocus with any PDAF or even contrast based, you're gonna be able to get the shot that you need and the shot that you want. You're gonna be able to leave that decision up to the camera. When you're first starting out, you're not good enough yet to make those solid decisions with manual focus. It's just you're not ready yet. So autofocus is actually a great way to train you to when to use manual focus because if you know autofocus, all right. Ben.
Yeah, I'm happy with that explanation. If it's in the context of a creator, especially a new creator.
It's a yes or no.
Plan. No, why not give a reason?
Because that's not what we do right now.
Trent.
Since when?
we give the reason at the end. It's all right, Ben. Don't worry about it. Trent.
Okay, if you want to give a reason at the end, that's cool.
You said Sean got it?
I said Sean got it.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Adrian.
Yes.
All right.
See how easy that was, Ben?
All right, let's go on into the next one. So the next question we have, riding off of that wave, Dobo, you get to pick your side. Should you color grade or buy LUT packs?
Color grade.
All right, you got your time. Go.
All right, so I think the problem with LUTs is the fact that you're basing the look off of somebody else's taste. Color is super subjective. What I see may not be something that is appealing to somebody else. And when you slap a LUT on there, you're going off of the fact that this is somebody else's taste. It's not your taste. They don't always look good for the dependent scene. You can't control the color, the hue, the saturation a lot of times without doing a lot of tweaking. If you color grade your footage, you're able to get the look you want each and every time based upon your scene, your lighting, your camera specifically, and the settings that you have configured and dialed in. I think if you color grade, you also understand and have a better scope of what you want your image to look like each and every time. I would encourage anybody to color grade their footage. That there's not an easy way to get a great image. A lot of people have really expensive cameras, and they don't take the time to color grade and they just throw LUT on. It looks like shit. And then you have people that have inexpensive cameras that just take the time to work and massage their image a little bit, and they can really make something beautiful out of a not so expensive camera. That's it. Time.
All right, Sean, are you ready?
Yep.
All right, let's go.
All right, so if you are definitely someone who does not have experience with color grading, LUT packs can definitely save your project. There will be definitely times when you don't know how to bring out the blues a certain way or bring out the reds in a certain way. And what a LUT is a lookup table. So it's going to change the contrast, increase the saturation or decrease the saturation of specific color values in which you probably wouldn't know how to do in the first place. So if there's somebody that you're watching specifically on how to learn how to do something, they have a certain look that you want, then you can take that look and apply it and then tweak it from there. Color grading from scratch is not always easy because sometimes depending on what type of footage you're working with, whether it's 8-bit or 10-bit footage, or if you expose correctly, there's a lot of things that you have to take into account when you're going to color grade something from scratch or just color grade something yourself manually. When it comes to LUT packs, though, this is something that you don't have to worry about. In most situations, you can put your camera on aperture priority, you throw a LUT pack on that. This is 9 times out of 10 going to be a look that you can get with no problem, and it's going to be professional, it's going to be clean. If you do not know what you're doing with color grade as far as trying to do the exposure, trying to set certain values, change lightness to darkness, or change the highlights and the shadows, your footage can end up becoming really, really bad, especially if you don't have a specific color grading monitor. If your monitor is not calibrated for color grading, your color grades can also be messed up from that, versus with a LUT pack, that's not something you have to worry about again. You see what the LUT pack already look like on whatever YouTube channel, whatever website you went to, you already have a clear representation of that, and you already know it's going to be accurate, versus your monitor, this is probably like a regular TV or older Samsung joint. You may have issues in the forefront and some things you probably won't be able to fix. Time.
Mike.
My bad. You guys, you guys get the 3 minutes. I'll go ahead and go.
All right, so we up for debate now?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. All right, so again, Dobo, the color grading thing, yeah, that conversation doesn't work for somebody who's never even know how to check the exposure in a camera, who doesn't know too much about ISO or lighting techniques.
So you would rather them throw a LUT on, and totally butcher it and look like maybe an Oompa Loompa. You'd rather somebody throw a LUT on.
They would totally butcher it even if they did a color grade for it, because
how would you know? How would you know a beginner would butcher it? I was a beginner at one point. There were a lot of people. I don't ever underestimate.
I was a beginner at one point. I was butchering my color grade.
You learn, so and weren't you somebody who just put out a video that said don't use LUTs? That you talk about your color grading wrong. I mean, I'm just saying, bro. Didn't you just put out a video on this telling people not to use LUTs?
So what does the video have to do with this debate, though?
I'm just saying, because somebody who's, I understand, right? I understand your
whether the LUT pack is something that you need versus doing.
You don't need a LUT pack. You don't need a LUT pack, because a beginner shouldn't. If you're saying that a beginner's color grading, because a beginner is going to need to learn how to adjust the contrast, how to adjust the colors, the highlights, the shadows. They shouldn't be great in that. Then
pretty much are templates for you to really work off of.
A template only works if you know what the original person anticipated.
Yeah, the LUT pack, the LUT pack will work for anybody.
LUTs are the biggest ripoff in the entire industry. You're right. It's a lookup table.
It's to help you manipulate colors.
If the beginner doesn't know how to color grade, how are they going to know to dial back those colors? How are they going to know how to dial back those colors? You can't dial back somebody else's colors.
You know how to qualify certain things to only get specific colors.
John, let me put it like this.
We actually talking about color grade, qualifying colors.
Real quick.
What type of footage you're working with?
No. This is a puzzle. So let me ask you a question. If I took apart your camera and you didn't see how I took it apart, you're going to know how to put that back together? That's the same as using somebody's LUT pack. When you don't see how they put those colors together, you don't know how it belongs. You don't know how the outcome's going to be.
LUT packs are templates, and there's definitely been times where I've taken something apart and then actually just seen it.
Beginner's not going to know how to take that apart. They're not going to know how to take that apart. They need to understand how to grade their footage.
Look at the value.
They need to understand how to grade the footage.
blue, okay, if I go this way with this blue, this is giving me a different look. Then if I go this way with my exposure, if they already got it set at this exposure,
what you're describing is color grading, Sean. What you're describing is color grading, not using a LUT. You can't just take a LUT. A LUT, your side of the argument is smack a LUT on there, you're done. You can't just take a LUT and smack it on there. You need to color grade that LUT. So you should be color grading. You should be color grading. You can't slap a LUT on footage and call it a day. You can't do it.
It's not calibrated for color grading. It's not going to look good from your footage.
There isn't a magic button.
All right, Trent.
I have to go with Dobo on that one.
Okay. Interesting. Ben.
Sean.
Okay. Adrian.
Dobo.
Okay. All right. So we're going into round number 3. Now I'm gonna address something real quick. I really try to not pay attention to the comments, but I feel like I need to address this, folks. A debate and a fight is not supposed to be polite. Okay, that's why they get a separate time to go back and forth with each other, and then that's why they get a time to just see who can argue the point better. It's not about arguing it on their own time. It's about who can argue their side of the point better. At the end of the day, everybody gonna leave here and still be friends with each other. So
I still love Sean barbecue.
Hey, for real, Double is my man.
We're still gonna barbecue.
You know, the back and forth is necessary. So with that said, let's keep this shit moving. Next question we got for you guys is sensor size versus resolution. Which is more important in a camera? So, Dobo, you are still riding the wave of 2-1 on that last round. So, what side are you going to choose?
I'm going to go with sensor size.
Sensor size, okay.
Yeah.
So, Sean, you know your side is resolution. And Dobo, your time starts now.
All right, so the reason why I'm going with sensor size is because it gives you much more flexibility than resolution. Most cameras can shoot 1080p. That's a great base. We're watching this stream probably on 720p, and I don't hear anybody bitching. With a larger sensor, you can get in more light, which means if you're in a low light situation, you can achieve a brighter image. A lot of times, too, with a larger sensor, you can get a better depth of field. So if you want to have a shallow background, you can get a shallow background. It also means that full frame lenses actually work better on a larger sensor, or even if you're using something like an APS-C sensor, which is still a step up from, let's say, micro 4/3, you can get in much more light. I just don't think that resolution is a huge player when it comes to video. I am totally fine with 1080p. As long as I have a large sensor to get light in, it lets much more clarity in. You don't get so much aliasing or fringing around the edges of images, especially when it comes to photos. I can get a entire capture. I shoot real estate, so I like to be able to frame up my shots, and a full frame sensor allows me to frame my shot up with minimal distortion. I think that is something that's overlooked a lot of times when we watch people's videos. You can tell that there's distortion when they're using something like a micro 4/3 sensor when they're trying to cram a larger lens. So that's my side of it. Done.
All right, Sean, is you ready?
Yep.
Let's go.
All right. So resolution can be more beneficial to you than a sensor size, because at the end of the day, the size of the sensor does not matter. But how crispy something looks, how great the quality of that image is, which is based off the resolution, that can really impact the quality of your work, right? I'm a micro 4/3 shooter, and there's a lot of people out there who shoot full frames. Now, at one point in time, has a client ever told me, like, hey, your footage would have been a lot better if you'd have shot full frame. But when they see the quality of my 4K and how the resolution looks and how sharp the image is, all that's what sticks out to them, not how big the sensor size was. The resolution is something that somebody can see right in the full frame. The size of the sensor, that's not something somebody can see right in the full frame. That's not. There's no way you'll be able to tell the size of a sensor just based off what somebody shot. There's no way. But if you light a subject correctly, low light doesn't even matter, because in most cases, I'm not even shooting by ISO 800 because I know how to light a subject. So if you know how to light a subject, and then you all have something like 8K, you can shoot a wide shot, crop in on somebody doing an interview. You can still have a 4K crop in on here, and you can still have a 4K crop in here. With resolution, you have a lot more room and flexibility to reframe a shot. The size of the sensor does not give you that. Again, if you have something like 8K, you can zoom in, you can still be perfectly fine and see what you're looking at with a crisp, clear image. Resolution is not something that does either. So if you already had the argument as far as the time, okay, I thought the time went off. If the argument ever came up again between micro four thirds, APS-C, and full frame, if the sensor size really does matter, why do you still see movies sometimes shoot on a Super 35 sensor, which is not the big?
Okay. All right, you guys got your 3 minutes. Let's go.
All right, so for somebody who shoots on an APS-C sensor, I get why you think resolution is not that good because your 4K probably sucks. I get it, and you don't know how to light a subject. I mean, if you don't know how to light a subject, though, well, then I will understand why you think.
I don't know how to light a subject. Have you looked at your videos recently? Holy shit, bro! Buy yourself a key light, bro. Buy yourself a key light, dog.
You know what
I mean, seriously, it's not that hard to do. If you walk into the crib, I get it. Your 4K footage kind of goes down here. You're like, oh my God, why does it look so bad? It's not the size of the sensor, Dobo. You have to learn how to light the house, man. You have to learn how to light your subject. If you don't know how to light the subject, no matter what size of the sensor you got, your footage is still gonna look like crap. Okay? So if you have resolution, Sean, I can barely see you, bro. It's so bright in here because my sensor is so big, it's letting in so much light. Hang on a second. Let me turn down the aperture a little bit. Let me turn down the aperture. All right, I'm going F8.
You know how to light a subject. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, you had a microphone. You have a larger sensor, you can get more light. This is a very dark environment. When I'm walking through a house or I'm shooting at night, I want to be able to get in as much light. The resolution doesn't matter. Have you ever had a client say to you, is that 4K? I've never had anybody say 4K. The normal person doesn't know what the hell 4K is, but they know whether or not they see a great image. I'm sorry, Sean.
That's based off image, though. That's based off the resolution, right? So somebody looked at a 720p clip and they looked at a 4K clip.
Real life view of Sean's lighting right now.
Obviously, going to see a difference, bro. So here's the thing: even with you where you are right now, I'm still clear. I'm still able to see you just fine with your APS-C sensor.
This is not an APS-C sensor, though.
So you no longer have an A6600 body?
I'm filming on a webcam, bro. This is a webcam.
Again, so size doesn't matter because you still look perfectly fine to me.
Oh, thank you.
That small.
But I have good lighting because I know how to light a shot, though. I know how to light a shot, though. But lighting is, you can't always control the lighting. Can you control the lighting in every environment?
Well, if you're a professional, you can.
That is not true. If I walk into a house, and I'm filming a real estate walkthrough, which I do, how am I going to control the lighting? Am I going to ask God to turn the sun up a little bit brighter? Can you do that for me? Can you do that for me? No, I can't. Going to hell? Okay. No, God said no. He can't do that. You cannot control the lighting. No?
Control the lighting.
John doesn't know how to light a shot. God says you don't know how to light your shot still. He said you can't. He can't even save your shot. He can't save your shot.
The 8K resolution, I can crop in on that, but you can't do anything with that little sensor size you got, huh?
He's talking about my sensor again. Okay, John, I only got to break out enough to beat you, okay? All right? That's it.
And you didn't do that this round. This round you lost. Clearly.
That's fine, Sean. Whatever you say, bro.
Listen, bro. You know this. Okay. When you put that shirt on, you know you lost. That's why you put that shirt on, because you know you weren't gonna have a resolution to match it anyway. So it's like they're not gonna
resolution.
They're not gonna see
this shirt is fabulous. I mean, I may have some nipple seepage, but
listen, bro. The Bruno
I don't even know where
shirt,
my nipples actually are in the shirt, if I'm just being honest.
I guess you thought because you had a sensor size to compensate for how bad that shirt was, you'd be okay. But the resolution,
APS-C.
You say it's actually an AP. Now, which light is it now, though? But you done went from a webcam to APS.
All right. All right. Ben, who you got for that one?
Dobo.
Ben, who you got, man?
Need a fucking donut
Sean,
right now.
Man.
All right. Adrian,
I got Sean on that one.
Sean.
All right. Man, y'all wow. That's all I got to say.
That was good. That was good.
Sean, you are now leading into the next question. So what we got this one is for photographers and videographers, which is better? A gimbal or a Steadicam?
I like that question. You thought about that one. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go gimbal. I'll go gimbal.
You don't know how to use one.
At the time starts now.
All right, so with a gimbal versus a Steadicam, a gimbal, which is a motorized accessory, okay, this is what steps up your production a lot more versus you coming outside with some dumbbells on a stick, talking about this camera is balanced properly, fam. You coming outside with this big old vest rigged up, you're putting way more weight on you than you need to. With a gimbal, you have a lot more functionality and a lot more shots at your disposal. So you're trying to get those low shots, you're trying to get those motorized shots or POV shots, slider shots, all of that. This is something that you can do on a gimbal. Steadicams are not really for professionals, in my opinion. What you're trying to do, that is not the route you want to go. Sitting here trying to counterweight something, you're taking a lot more time when setting up a shot. With a gimbal, depending on what type of gimbal you have, but in most cases, all gimbals are now starting coming to lock axis. So when you're trying to balance a gimbal, you can work on one axis at a time to get your shot, make sure you're steady, and then make sure it's cool. And then you also have auto-tune functions on these gimbals. With a Steadicam, it's gonna take a lot more time to learn how to balance that thing, also with the counterweight, and also to make sure that it's at the functionality you want it to be. There's a lot of shots that you just can't do with a Steadicam that you can with a gimbal. So, and it's something as far as like a really good parallax or a sliding shot, this is something that's really better done on a gimbal because of how much movement you have, and if you mess up, you have a little slack. Steadicam is not moving, that thing is steady, so you just want to stick with weights. That's what you want with a Steadicam. So you go for something that's being motorized to actually help you with your shots, to get you more creative shots versus you just putting a stick on the gimbal. So at this point, you might as well go ahead and pick up a monopod, and that's your Steadicam. Gimbals are made, or they're motorized. Okay.
All right. Go.
All right. So Steadicams, they work really well. They're super cheap. They're super affordable. And for somebody who is a beginner, if we're aiming this at a beginner possibly, they are actually really easy to do. They are easy to balance. You have weights. You can slide them back and forth. They're not hard. You don't need a vest. They have them all day long on Amazon. You can get a Steadicam for like $49-$50. Gimbals cost anywhere between $200 to sometimes, $600. They're expensive. They have a high acquisition price. You have to charge the batteries. With a Steadicam, I don't ever have to charge the batteries. That means I can throw it in my closet. I can throw it in the back of my truck. I don't have to worry about it breaking. It's easy to use. The movements that you can get with a Steadicam are incredibly natural and smooth. They look very, very appealing. A lot of Hollywood films, a lot of people that I work with still use Steadicams today because the movement isn't quite as robotic. When you look at a mechanical gimbal, they just have a very unnatural flow to them, as to where a Steadicam, it looks super natural and you can finesse a really beautiful shot out of them. I like Steadicams and I still use them in houses today. Time.
Right. Guys, got 3 minutes and let's go.
So Dobo tends to forget, just like I'm a fan of his channel, he watches my videos. Dobo, I watch your videos. You're not breaking down no Steadicam, fam. You're using a Ronin SC, the Weeble S, anything with some type of motorized movement.
My Weeble broken, bro.
You broke your Weeble?
Yeah, my Weeble's broken, dude.
Well, it depends. I don't know which one you're talking about. Nonetheless, though, here's the thing with a Steadicam: you cannot pack that like you can a gimbal. Speaking of something like the Weeble,
you can pack a Steadicam. It depends. They fold up to about that big. The Steadicams that I've used, they fold up to about that big. I don't have to charge battery, extend it, balance to throw the camera on. It's a simple balance. I don't have to worry about it breaking. I don't have to talk to anybody in China every time it breaks. I'm like, and wait 30 weeks for my product to get back. I mean, it's simple, dude. It's simple.
It's China.
I mean, what the hell, man? I don't got to worry about that if it comes back. I mean, come on. It's easy.
So you tell me, when you're walking through a house, when you have those
super smooth Parker Wahlberg, man.
Those houses are super
smooth,
super smooth, and they're not in a Steadicam. If you're gonna pilot super and be the champion of Steadicam, I at least expect you to use a Steadicam, but you don't use a Steadicam.
I got a Steadicam, dude.
I have one, but it's just like
cam. I got a fly cam. No, it ain't looking at me. That thing gets used. That thing gets used a lot, dude.
Then I would not see videos that you have based so much on gimbals and gimbal use and how the gimbal works in the house.
You know why I do gimbal related videos? Because they pay, bro. They pay. Steadicam, you do one Steadicam, it works great. They work great. Steadicams, I don't have to charge battery. How many times you got to charge your battery on your Steadicam or your Steadicam? You don't charge your Steadicam.
Like you can a Steadicam? No, you can charge your camera.
If I gave you a Steadicam, bro, you're gonna get a hard on because it's absolutely amazing. They're super smooth.
You're gonna sit there and be running out of batteries use the Steadicam, sitting here trying to get it all finessed up. By the time you get a balance,
you balance it once, you're done. You balance it once, you're done.
Put up a monitor on this joint.
Thing's a piece of shit. It breaks twice a week.
You can accessorize the gimbal.
Steadicam never works.
Steadicam?
Like my Steadicam's like more stable than my first girlfriend, bro. It's just always there for me. It works. It works.
On a gimbal, you can put an external monitor on a gimbal. You can put accessories on a gimbal. These are all things that you cannot do to make your job easy.
You sound like fucking a Barbie doll trying to accessorize shit. I'm just looking to get a job done. Go into a house, shoot it, and get it done. Steadicam is for a real professional. Steadicam for a real professional. If Steadicams were not for professionals, then you would see more Hollywood films not use them, but they're on the set. You know why? Because they're reliable. Reliability you cannot beat. How many times did my Steadicam broke? It ain't never broke. It ain't never broke. It's never broke. It's never broke. Why are you people at the camera?
Robotic arms. These are gimbals. Movements.
These are my robotic arms, bro. These are my robotic arms. I'm like in the house like this, bro. Like this.
Not robotic arms, bro. No matter how many times you've done it,
nothing's more stable.
All right.
Nothing's more stable.
Ben.
Sean.
All right, Adrian. I'm sorry, Trip. My bad.
Sean.
Adrian.
Finish him.
Sean.
We got another knockout. All right. So, Dobo, your knockout question shall be: which is better, log or picture profiles?
Log.
All right, you got a minute. Let's go.
All right, I like log. It gives me much more flexibility to color grade an image to the way I want it. I get way more dynamic range. I get a flatter, more neutral starting point, which allows me to bring out the most in an image. If you use a picture profile, a lot of times you're bound to whatever preset limitations are already built into that profile. But log, you have a blank canvas that works well to get the most out of your image as far as dynamic range. It also allows you to pull the highlights down and recover much more. So it's a little bit more forgiving if you shot overexposed and you needed to bring it back. It's sort of like a savior at times. That's it. That's all you got to say about log. It's fucking awesome.
All right. Trent?
Yep.
All right. Ben?
Yep.
Adrian?
Yes.
We got ourselves a tie going into the fourth, ladies and gentlemen. We got ourselves a tie. So let's go ahead and get this going. 24 frames per second versus 30 frames per second. Which one should creators shoot in? So, Sean, since you won that round by knockout, which one you going with, brother?
24, man.
24. All right, Sean, you got a minute and a half. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Let's do it.
Okay, out the gate, fam. You should not be shooting in 30p, period, okay? Hollywood movies are what's shot in 24 frames per second. 24 frames per second is what gives you the natural motion blur that human sees. 30p is not the route where you want to go. I know sometimes y'all seen these videos on YouTube. It's like, well, it's not quite 60p, but it ain't 24p. It ain't 24p either. And you look at it, it's like right in the middle of that. That's what 30p is. 30p is that like that unforgotten child. It's the middle child. The child that people just kind of forget about. You ain't the youngest, you ain't the oldest. It's like you just there. 60p is for slow mo, 24p is for film film look. 30p is like for, I don't know, if you do real estate videos. I don't know. I mean, I personally wouldn't use, 30p at all. That's just not what I do. 24 frames per second is what gives you the cinematic look. So if you ever watch a movie that's in Hollywood and you sitting there trying to get your videos to look just like that, 24 frames per second is where you want to go at. It keeps the natural motion blur, and it actually just looks very pleasing to the eye versus the ugly 30p stepbrother. Again, in most cases, people who shoot real estate videos are using 30p. I personally, who's a professional, I want to use that. But, there's some out there who does. That's it.
All right. No, great.
What the heck?
Let's go.
All right. It's not going to take too long for me to disseminate this. So if you like super stuttery video, and you want to feel like you're in 1954, shoot 24 frames per second. If you like to claw your eyes out with the spoon while you watch somebody's YouTube video, then you need to be shooting 24 frames per second. I'm only doing this for your own good, for the audience, for the judges. You need to be shooting in 30 frames per second. It looks smoother. Your audience will thank you. When you're moving fast, there isn't a stutter and a jitter. I've seen videos. I've watched Sean videos, and he's like this. It looks like he's buffering on dial-up, and it's utterly repulsive. You also have to use ND filters most of the time when you shoot in 24 frames per second. Why? Because you're letting in much more light. With 30 frames per second, it's not a lot, but it helps. It also lets you smooth it down. And let's just say, for the instance that you screw up a shot and you need to slow that shot down. Well, who's going to have your back? Not 24 frames per second. 30 frames per second is going to have your back. Trust me when I say that it looks super smooth and it's easy to work with. You're also getting better frames per video. It just looks smoother. Right now, you're watching this video in 30 frames per second.
All right, y'all got 3 minutes. Let's go.
First of all, you weirdo, why are you lying to these people like that? Number one, because you know damn well.
This is an unbiased debate. Sean, my job is to sell 30 frames per second. Your job is to sell 24 frames. And it's not even 24, Sean. It's 23.97. Okay, well, let's get the facts straight, Sean. You're lying already. You've lost, Sean.
1/48th of a second, sir. Again, you're not talking to a noob, buddy. And secondly, you can still slow down footage in 24 frames per second if you use optical flow. 30p is 1/60th of a second. So you get 12 more seconds of letting light in than you will with
optical
1/48th
flow. Optical flow.
You're not talking to somebody who don't do. I do this, okay? So you sit there and say retarded stuff.
You're disgusting. You disgust me with your 24 frames per second. I've seen your videos. You look like you're moving in slow, jittery ass motion. You know what? I love the way 30 frames per second look. I love the way it looks. It looks sexy. You can't prove that. You can't prove that.
I can't.
You can't prove that. How are you going to prove that, Sean? Prove that I shoot in 24 frames per second.
You know why? Because 30p is for garbage. That's what it is.
30p is for garbage. That's why all your top creators shoot in 30 frames per second. That's why this stream.
You're lying. You know that's
Sean,
not
this stream right now is in 30 frames per second. 29.
Name me one movie shot in 30p. Name me one movie.
One movie?
One movie shot in 30p.
I can't name a movie because they're not worth watching. But TV, do you watch TV?
The little child that nobody wants. 30p.
Every broadcast TV shows 30 frames per second. 30 frames per second is the new standard.
It's not
24 frames per second back in the day. You know why they shot 24 frames per second? Because the pictures couldn't handle anything more. That's why it was 24. That was the science that they came up with. And every douche tuber online says you gotta shoot 24 frames per second because it sounds super cinematic. Like Zoids, nobody gives a shit if you shoot 24. You don't have to shoot 24. You don't have to shoot 24. That's what everyone wants you to believe. That's what everybody wants you to believe. That's what everybody wants you to believe.
You've never shot a video in 30p. Never. That's
what you keep doing this. You keep doing this, but it's not going to change the fact that everybody likes 30 frames per second.
Which shot in 30p, and you don't even shoot in 30p. So what you arguing?
Name one porno that you've watched in 30 frames per second. You can. They all are. All of them. All of them. None of them are shot in 24. None of them are shot in 24. Why? Because the motion is there. You can't have blur for that. You need crisp, clear imagery. Crisp, clear imagery.
Think about it. When you shoot in 20p and you shoot 60p, you can bring it down.
I'm dead as a heart attack. I'm dead as a heart attack. 30 frames. 30 frames. 30 frames or bust. I'm going to tattoo it on my chest right here for you, Sean. 30 frames or bust.
Double off that one. That's the L. That's the L.
Man, who you got, man?
Dobo.
30 frames, baby. Sexy. So sexy. 30 frames, Sean. Okay. It's sexy. You know it is. You know it is.
You pay Ben. You over there paying Ben with gifts. You told Ben to come to X4. That's what it is. That's what it is.
That's ridiculous. That's absurdity. That's absurdity. Now you're accusing me of colluding
and bribery. That's what
bribery.
Yes. Yes.
What you got? Unmute your mic. Shit.
I'm still fucking trying to recover from that shit.
You'll never recover. Nobody in the audience will ever recover.
I'll go for Sean.
Sean, all right.
Oh my God, bro.
I'm have to go Sean, although I really like Dobo's style, but I'm gonna stick to what was said, so I'm gonna go with Sean.
All right.
You're dead to me, Sean. You're dead. You're dead to me. But I still love you. We're barbecuing. We're barbecuing.
Hey, you know it with Ben XT4 that you bribing him with.
Last question of the night, and I think this one's a funny one. Tripod versus monopods.
May we know the score, please?
The current score going into the last round is Sean with a total tally of 9 to Dobo's tally of 8. So, Sean, what side of this will you go with?
Why did you avoid that information, sir? Okay, I'm gonna go tripods.
Sean is going with tripods for creators. Are you ready for your time, sir?
Sir, I'm Killmonger, sir. I'm ready.
Let's do it then.
All right, so tripods for creators. Here's the thing. Tripods, you have 3 legs of stability versus a monopod. Let me tell you something right now. As a professional, somebody who do this shit for real, I've had a monopod drop my camera and my Sigma 18-35 lens twice on me. Monopods are not stable. You cannot leave a monopod unattained, but you can do this with a tripod. And in most situations, the tripod can be used as a monopod depending on the type of tripod you got. So tripods are way more versatile than monopods. If you need something that's going to sit there and stand your equipment up firmly and steady, then tripods are where you want to go. Monopods are not used for that. If you ever notice, my dumb self didn't know this, but you would never see a monopod unattended with the camera that's on it by itself. Even if you look at, what's that chick name, bro? She do tech videos too. I can't remember her name. The black chick with the braids. She had a video, her camera on a monopod, and that dropped on her. Monopods are not great for viewer creator because that's a 2-man thing. If you're a creator and you're by yourself, 9 times out of 10 you're solo, right? So you need a tripod, something that's going to steadily hold your equipment up without it falling. Monopods, you cannot do that. I'm gonna tell you right now. This ain't gonna do no debate. Do not buy a monopod and think your footage or your camera's gonna stand on that thing by itself. You need a tripod for that. Monopods are not for that. Monopods are for gimbal shots and jib shots. Time.
All right. Dobo, you ready? Let's go.
John, you're so full of shit, Sean. You know damn well that a monopod is an exceptional piece of equipment. Personally, I own a monopod, 2 monopods, and they are the most handy and essential piece of gear that I have when I go to events. You ever see somebody lugging around a tripod, Sean? They look ridiculous. I pass by them with my monopod over my shoulder as I wisp through the convention floor, stopping at each booth, and they're like, hey, is that a monopod? I'm like, yes, it is. And I'm setting up, doing my shot, and I'm on to the next. A monopod is your best friend if space is of the utmost importance. It doesn't take a monstrous amount of room. They're easy to use. They're versatile. Jib shots. You make me sick with your lies. You've never once used a monopod for a jib. I have used a monopod for a jib. And you know what? That shot came out great. Monopods are cheap, affordable, usable, and absolutely amazing. You can make a monopod your best friend. I have dinner with my monopod every night. It's easy. I personally think that if you want to get something to hold your camera, you should start off with a monopod. Try it. It's easy, affordable. I've never once knocked a monopod down. That was my pledge when I was running for class president. Never tipped a monopod.
30 minutes on the clock. This is the last round. There you go. Let's go.
First of all, you lying piece of cougar king. First of all, you are a liar. And I'm just looking at you, just laughing your teeth. Because you know monopods are not going to stand somebody's camera.
Hang on, let me gain my composure.
Hey, listen, bro. Monopods not it. Tripods are actually sometimes cheaper than monopods. You can buy a tripod for $20.
Man, monopods. You know what?
You can buy a monopod for $20.
If I'm going to an event, and I'm filming, I don't want to lug a tripod around. I'm not going to lug a tripod around. You set a monopod down. Yeah, but you set a monopod down.
What are you gonna do with the 2 camera setup? Because you can't leave that monopod unmanned. If you got 2 monopods,
they have feet. They have feet,
I have
dude.
a monopod with a feet. I have
Bro, you're buying the wrong shit. You're buying the wrong monopod. I buy the Manfrotto monopods.
I have a Manfrotto monopod. I buy quality for my production.
Bro, I can't help you're buying that doo-doo ass shit off of Amazon. Buy yourself a real monopod.
Basic tripod. Talking about, yeah, it ain't gonna hold your stuff up.
Monopods work really well. Yes, they do. If you ever go to an event and you look around, monopods are everywhere. They're everywhere. Nobody's bringing a tripod. You're going to bring a tripod to an event? Thousands of people? No, not going to happen. Absolutely. I can leave my monopod on the table. It's got feet. It's got feet, motherfucker. It's got feet.
Because even with feet, it's going to fall because of the balance, because of the weight of the lens, the weight of your accessories, whatever you got on it.
If you learned how to use a Steadicam, you can use a monopod. You can't use a Steadicam. You can't use it. What do you mean what you can do with a monopod? You can do a lot of things. You have a tight room. You have a tight room, and you're going to put up a big-ass tripod? I just spit donut at my camera.
No, light tripod ain't that big, so you lying again.
No. You can't make it seem real.
You're lying because
tripods are actually you're the most disabled.
They're way more functional. They're way more functional.
You just cannot enable yourself to create.
Monopods, you cannot get as low as you can with certain tripods. Like, you can go ahead and spread those legs open on a tripod. Can you spread some legs over on a monopod? You cannot.
They try to get those low feet. They have
time lapses. With time lapses, are you doing time lapse with a monopod? You cannot do that because the footage is not going to be steady. You can't hold it down.
Sean, you're basing it on variables.
Because I have a Manfrotto monopod, and there's counter which tells you that you cannot do a monopod unattended. The ones with feet are there for a reason for you to sit there. You feel what I'm saying? Bow. That's all they for. They not sitting there for you to leave it there like, all right, cool. You do your thing, bro.
You can leave it like that. You can leave it like that. If you have the right monopod, you can leave it like that.
I'm lying, just like the person that sold you that shirt that said look good on you. How can I trust the words you say? How can I trust the words that you say?
It looks fabulous, Sean. You got no taste and style.
First of all, any man that's going to wear the shirt like that, how can you take that word on what you should buy for a tripod or a monopod? Clearly, they like one more. Clearly,
this shirt is the perfect social distancing shirt. You know how many people came up to me in Winn-Dixie? None.
Oh my God! Who the hell cares?
None.
All right, this is for all the marbles here. Trent, who you got, brother?
Bullshit.
You know you love a monopod, Trent.
Fuck Doe.
All right, Ben.
Convenient.
Sean.
Adrian.
I have Dobo this round.
See, this is what I feel like the judges be working against me. Now
you did that on purpose, Mike. You should have never. If I could stab you through this.
And I got to figure out a question.
Keep your cool, Sean. Keep your cool. We're still barbecuing. We're still barbecuing.
Let the chat come up with a question. Let the chat come up with a question.
Yeah. I need everybody in the chat to start putting the question out there. I'll pick the best one. Because this is going to be the tiebreaker round here.
I think Travis left, but he should have stayed to come up with a question since he kept talking shit.
What is podcast was saying?
Just always in there talking shit, talking about the judges need to educate themselves. Travis, fuck you. And if he ain't in here, y'all run to Twitter and tell him I said fuck you, Travis. You know what? I'll send him a DM.
Hi.
Ooh, Sony versus Canon. Okay.
You know what? Yeah, that's the question. So we're gonna do a let me see. I gotta find a coin real quick. We're gonna do a coin toss for this one.
Oh, the luck of the fates.
So we're gonna do the question: Sony versus Canon.
Jay Farmer, fuck you too.
Nobody is
Oh, right. Shit.
So
demonetized.
Wow.
Yeah, I put it out there, let people know. Like, hey, man, bullshit.
Yep.
All right. So I'll hold this up. Y'all might not be able to see it. This is the closest thing I got to a coin. That's heads. That's tails. So, what we got? Sean, head, tail.
Give me heads. Heads is always better in bed.
All right. Landed on heads. So, Sony versus Canon. What do you have, Sean?
Give me Canon.
All right. You got 1 minute, since this is the tiebreaker round, to argue why Canon is better than Sony. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Let's do it.
All right, so I already know what Cougar King is going to say about as far as the Sony. The lens mount, the E mount, but do not forget that the Canon also has EF mount, in which the EF glass has been around for a very, very long time. And EF glass, just like Sony, EF glass can go on cinema cameras as well. Now, we're going to talk about as far as how Canon has a leg up. We're going to go sit there and go with dual pixel autofocus. Dual pixel autofocus is second to none. There's no one that can top dual pixel autofocus just yet. This camera, literally, no matter where you are, no matter how close you are to the subject, even if it's like this hairline close, it would still pick up and focus with its autofocus or with the C-Log, you know what I'm saying? Or I mean, with its autofocus or with its face tracking. Then you have C-Log and you have C-Log RAW. Now, anybody who knows Sony cameras know that their log is boo-boo. And I know this for a fact because Dobo, he doesn't even use his log. So he knows that's a fact too. So Canon log, C-Log, and C-Log RAW are very dope very dope profiles to work in when you're doing color grades. Especially if you're sitting there, if you have a Canon camera, you got Canon RAW like a 1DX Mark III or something like that. You for real? Canon has set the bar so much, it is ridiculous. Now you have the Canon R5. And this camera, now you also have cameras coming out to shooting 4K 60. The Sony 8, no Sony camera besides their film cameras do 4K 60 at all. And they have terrible 8-bit, they have terrible log footage. If you want the best log, the best picture profile, the best color science, the best autofocus, the best cameras, the C300, the C500s, these are all Canon cameras, okay? Canon is the way you want to go for cinema. Canon is the way you want to go for cinema.
All right. Dobo, let's go.
The lies and corruption run deep in Sean's veins. I switched from Canon to Sony, and I did it for a lot of reasons. One, I wasn't happy with the autofocus. There was times where dual pixel autofocus didn't work. Canon has a notorious issue with crippling their cameras. I feel like my Sony cameras are a zero compromise camera. AI autofocus means I'm always in focus, no matter what. The ability to shoot in low light situations, I can crank this ISO up to 3200, almost zero noise. That's absolutely amazing. And Sean, you're right. I don't shoot in log. Why would I shoot in log with HLG, hybrid log gamma? Hybrid log, I'm drunk. Hybrid log gamma is absolutely a game changer. It takes the best of log and combines that with a standard profile, which means minimum color grading. Also means that skin tones look absolutely gorgeous every single time. Also, most of these cameras, if not all of them, are weather sealed, which means I can shoot in the rain. I never have an issue with that. I'm holding a A6100. This camera costs $649, can shoot into 4K 30 frames per second, no compromise. Tell me a Canon camera that can shoot 4K up to 30 frames per second with no compromise. You can. The autofocus works in 4K, which not all Canon cameras can do that. I also get a flip screen, which is great.
All right, you guys got 2 minutes to argue your points. All the marks.
You should have chose Sony because then it would have been funny, but you didn't. You fucked up.
I did.
That was your first mistake. You know damn well that Sony makes amazing images.
I should have sold Sony, huh? I did, huh? Okay.
You should have.
So let me ask you a question there.
You heard that. He should have chose Sony. You know that.
None of your Sony cameras can really handle that really well. The Canon M50 can't shoot 4K 30. And it has a flip
with no autofocus in 4K.
And it has a
phase detection autofocus. Phase detection autofocus is doo-doo. Guys, phase detection, bad.
Garbage. Log is garbage on Sony cameras.
Log is garbage to who? I've done numerous videos with log, and you couldn't tell.
Because log,
if you're an amazing editor, if you can edit, no matter what you shoot, you have to edit it.
saying Canon is for the people who just want to pick up a camera and just go. Sony, you got to sit there and know what
Sony's the same way. I can put this in movie profile and just go. Always in focus.
You're not gonna be able to do that. There's only certain Sony cameras that can do that. Almost every Canon camera that has came out has a flip out screen.
Every camera since the A6000 has been amazing.
Dog, you can't even shoot 4K 60. You name me one Sony camera that you got in your possession.
So that is your only argument. A 4K 60 that they can't shoot, which most people don't shoot. Most people don't shoot 4K 60.
You a lie.
This is zero compromise.
They don't have that option.
If 60 frames is a compromise, I'll sacrifice that. This is not a compromise.
On the A7 III, they have 4K 60. Do you think they're shooting?
Look at that. A sub $1,500 camera with a headphone jack. Oh, and that was this. This is my 6600. Another sub $1,200 camera, headphone jack, mic jack. Come on, Sean. Sean, no recording limit. No recording limit. You can't. There's no recording limit.
What has Sony dropped that's even worth talking about?
The A6600. I'm holding it. It's an absolutely astonishing camera.
You sat there and thought about it.
This is it. I'm holding it. I'm holding two amazing cameras. One at $600, one at $1,000, and they have similar specs. Zero compromise. These are zero compromise. Sony's a zero compromise ecosystem, Sean.
Shut the fuck up.
I was waiting for that.
All right, Ben. Let's go.
Double.
Okay. Trent.
Dobo exotic.
Dobo exotic. Adrian.
Finish him.
And your winner is Dobo.
By knockout of the reaction. All right.
Wait, he got his own sound effect?
Oh,
yeah, I do.
You got something.
That's wild. That's so wild. Oh, wow.
Let's go back through and let's if everybody was keeping up. So Dobo has won by 13 to 10 as far as the points go. But let's go ahead and go back and let's see. Why did you guys choose Dobo for the last one? I'll start with Trent.
For the first question or the last question?
For the last question.
Well, Sean kind of admitted that he fucked up.
Yeah.
And Dobo had a lot more, stronger points with defending Sony than Sean had with defending Canon.
Okay. Ben, what about you?
Dobo, because on a coin toss, you're left to chance. Sean actually landed on the good side. It's an easy gift, and you went the opposite side, which
I'm wearing a freaking Sony hat. You should have won Sony.
Yeah, I cannot see that you was going to be alpha. I cannot see that. I didn't see that.
I'm genuinely surprised. It's not just because Sean did a video on it, but it's like when it lands on chance, you just take it. And I don't know why you went on Canon side. So, yeah.
All right, Adrian, what about you?
Same reasonings. I could not believe that Sean took the side that he took. And then he could have still saved himself, but he straight up admitted that he should have took Sony.
Yeah.
Oh, no. You missed it. I should have took Sony, huh? I should have took Sony. That was a rhetorical question. It wasn't like a...
Why, it didn't sound rhetorical. It sounded like it was defeat.
Yeah.
All right. Well, nonetheless, it's over. But I hear you.
All right. So let's go with the first one then. What about this one? Ben?
So this one, Dobo chose DSLR, Sean chose mirrorless. I picked Dobo. I put the reasons, just a couple, cheaper, better lens support, and I liked that he stated no dust on the sensor, because obviously the mirror covers. So as much as I favor mirrorless, those reasons stood out to me more. So that was the reason. There was other stuff as well, but that was the main reason.
All right, Trent, what about you?
Both had good points. I just felt that Dobo had like a better counter with everything, and Sean really didn't counter as hard back or whatever.
All right, Adrian, what about you?
Same reason. I felt the first round was very close. If you would have just went by point of what they were actually talking about, it just so happened that Dobo had more counters, and so that's why I went in his favor.
Now I'm curious about this question. We're not going to go through all of them, but I want to know about this one. Adrian, why did you choose who you chose for this one?
What question are we talking about?
24 frames per second versus 30.
So I was gonna go with Dobo, but then Sean kind of came back in the shit. I ain't gonna lie, on this one, I was confused. I didn't know what the hell was going on with them going back and forth and talking over each other. So I had to go with who sounded louder.
Don't worry your precious little head. It's fine. It's fine. It's all fine.
All right, Ben, what about you?
You would think I would have picked Sean. The reason why I was the only one that picked Dobo is that this argument could have went both ways, but it was the battle. The battle is what really stood out. There was one technical reason that he gave about why, they chose 24, which made 24 look inferior, but really it was the trolling. Dobo was trolling him, and he was making Sean hesitate and laugh at his comments. And when you laugh at his comments, it kind of makes you feel like, hey, what you're saying is funny. I kind of agree with that. That's a dangerous place to put yourself in. So
You're a dangerous person, John.
No, I'd rather say if someone is saying something,
you're like an idiot. Right?
If someone is saying something that sounds funny or you agree, you've got to not show it. And Sean was showing it too many times. So that's why I went with Dobo.
You make a better judge than you do a contestant.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
No cap.
So Sean provided more points for his argument than Dobo provided points. Dobo trolled, but Sean provided more points as far as if you look at the question.
Okay. All right. Well, judges, how do you guys feel about this this fight?
I think there needs to be a rematch.
Yeah, I agree. I think there needs to be a rematch quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I was. Thank you, TJ.
TJ in the house.
No, I was surprised that Dobo kind of low sweeped himself because he was like, "Yeah, I use a gimbal because it makes me more money."
Yeah. So yeah, there's the other questions to go through, right?
Yeah, we can go through.
look at bringing out the gimbal.
All right. We can go through this one here. Should you color grade or buy LUT packs? Now, I thought this one was an interesting one because I'm gonna tell you, all of the answers that both of y'all gave helped me out because I don't know a damn thing about cameras.
Finish him.
So
strong sound effect.
It's all good.
You say money can't buy happiness. Look at the fucking smile on my face.
Oh no.
But Ben, how'd you feel about this one?
You know what? I picked Sean. The reason why I picked Sean is he was on the wrong side of the argument and he battled his way. And to me, that is a side that doesn't get judged. So that one, Dobo picked that you should color grade, which is true. You should. Sean made a video about it. You should. But the funny thing is, in the battle, if you lose a round and you're on the wrong side of the argument, that's when you really have to show how you argue. And Sean showed it really well. One thing that I would have loved for you to have helped yourself to say, Sean, is that not all LUT packs are priced. You can get free LUT packs.
You're correct.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
Let me explain.
But the question
You
says,
take it so long.
No. I know. Should you buy? But I'm just saying that what Sean could have done to help himself in a curveball is added that not all LUT packs can be bought. They're free. But overall, I like the fact that you argued your case, even though you were on the wrong side. That's why I picked you, and everyone else picked Dobo.
So,
You don't know why I picked Dobo. Don't speak to me.
I don't know why. I'm just saying everyone else picked Dobo, but that's the reason why I picked you, because you
ahead,
argue
Clint.
best
Keep
on the
talking
wrong
too
side of the argument. That's
Thank
it.
you, Ed.
all right, so wait, it was the color grade LUT one, right?
yeah.
So the reason why I picked Dobo was his counters and his examples of color grading over Sean's were a lot better. If Sean would have said, hey, if it's a beginner, throwing a LUT pack on might help and it might be easier and it might save them time over the long run, then sure, you can You can go either way. You can use Lutz,
I get that.
or you can what you call it. You can use or
It's
you
technical
can color grade. But like I said, Dobo was a little bit stronger with the counters. Like he had more counters.
Okay, Adrian, what about you?
Like y'all both had good points.
He said, Adrian, thank you. Okay. So for someone like me that doesn't color grade or use Lutz, basically I was going with who could sell me on what I should do. And from that argument, the better salesman was Dobo. And so that's why I went with him. I don't think either one of them said anything that was wrong. It's just like I would be the perfect person for them to sell to for this question. So that's how I did my judging.
Great. I can agree with that. All right. Let's see. I thought this one was a funny one. Which is better, a gimbal versus a Steadicam? Now this one was funny. So Trent, why'd you choose who you chose for this one?
So I was going with Dobo because Dobo was bringing up a lot of good points about, stuff breaking and, you can just take it out and just use it and there it is. But man, when he said he tripped himself and he said, I make more money with a gimbal than I make with a Steadicam. I was like, oh nah, man. I can't let that one go.
I screwed up.
Ben, what about you?
Same. When he said, do you know why I do videos on gimbals? Because it pays. When he said that, it's like, you have agreed. So that's when I was like, I was going to pick Sean anyway, because the solo argument especially stood out. Sean's solo argument, not the battle, but solo explanation was on point, and I agreed with it 100% through. But the minute you agree with your opponent in any way, shape, or form, you lost.
Adrian, what about you?
Basically a combination of what Trent and what's that boy name? Ben said.
Respect on my name, please.
I really could not think of your name.
It's a one-syllable name, Ben.
You're not that
You got
important,
a one-syllable name and she couldn't remember it.
I just wanted to respect on my name.
Never.
All right, let's run with the last one here. Sensor size versus resolution. Now I thought this was a good one. I'm not going to say who I particularly chose in this one, but I thought this was a good argument. So Ben, we'll start with you.
Yeah, this was the best one. Dobo was on the side of sensor size. Sean was on the resolution. I picked Dobo. The only reason why is that in the battle, Dobo made Sean hesitate a lot. And Sean was pretty much unsure how to counter. You could hear it in his voice. He wasn't coming back as he should. And, that was one thing that stood out. So the argument itself can go both ways. And I knew that it wasn't going to be straightforward. This is better, that's better. It was going to be down to who can hold their own best. And Dobo did. That's why I picked him.
All right. Trent?
Sean killed him when he said that webcam and the sensor. Like the whole, when we were talking about sensor size, he was like, well, you're shooting on a webcam, you look good. So we all know webcams got one of the smallest sensors out there. So,
Okay. Adrian, what about you?
I don't even honestly remember who I picked.
You picked Sean on this one, Adrian.
Well, I guess Sean's argument sounded better because I don't remember this round.
This was the best round.
All right. Well,
nah. The best round was that damn monopod versus tripod.
Yes, I thought that was the best round.
That's true. That was funny.
monopod versus tripod.
And the reason why it was the best round was because Dobo was like, "It's got feet, motherfucker."
Man,
I about lost it at that point.
Yeah, so that's the last one that we need to go through, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the last one.
That's the last one.
I'm still gonna say
I just want to hear himself talk.
my favorite was the 24 frames per second versus 30. Because when he said porn is shot in 30, I was done.
Yeah, that's what made me. I forgot that one.
At that point, it wasn't even about the fight anymore. I was done.
No, it's not that. He said, which one of your favorite porn?
Yo, that was the best desperate
It was.
Hey, that was like a wild haymaker that landed.
That was good.
That's like you about to get tackled in the end zone and you just chuck that bitch up like fuck it.
Hey, bro, like I'm gonna be real, bro. Like it was hard. It was hard even going against Ben. It's hard going against people I truly rock with, bro. Like put me against like John Prosser or something, bro. Somebody you know what I'm saying? Whatever I'm saying, but like
I think that's what makes it better, though. But I think
I give you that.
I think that's what. But I think that's what makes it better, man. You've got to bring your lawyer game. If it's against someone that you like, you know, they're using your content against you. You're using their content against them.
I'm gonna be real with you, Ben. When he pulled that video out on me, bro, I was like,
yeah,
bro, I'm liked and subscribed, dude. I liked and subscribed.
Ben, I was scared. I said, "Oh, he got this."
Oh man, I know. I watch all your videos, bro. So I know.
I couldn't deal with fucking Dobo when he pulled that damn hair out.
Damn.
But I think this is what I mean about the hesitation. Those things you gotta develop it. If he's using your stuff against you and he's making you hesitate, that's a second, 2 seconds, 5 seconds gone that you're losing punches. You know, so. Nah, this was a good battle, man. You guys.
When I see him pull that out, I went straight into real estate. I said, "Oh, we calling each other video."
Yeah.
I said, "Okay." I said, "I don't know what time it is now." Yeah.
But for the tripod one, I picked Sean because your solo explanation was perfect. You gave
hurt my heart.
You went straight for specific reasons that would damage your equipment. That I felt the pain already, and I was like, "Yep, Sean." Nothing's coming back from that. Even if Dobo battles it, my equipment going because of a tripod or monopod, that's it. I will never ever touch that again.
You done? Thank you.
Why are you on my case, Adrian? Why?
You talk so damn much. Damn.
Because I give good explanations and people like me articulating. Thank you very much, dear lady.
Well, Adrian, why did you choose who you chose?
Who did I choose?
Dobo.
Oh, the feet motherfucker part. That was the winner. I'm sorry. He got that.
All right. Trent.
And when he brought up that point, I remember a behind the scenes video that Check Me Out did 2 years ago at CES, and she was using her monopod and it did have feet. So it just sparked my memory from that. And I saw that she was using it. And she had said in there that she didn't want to lug her tripod around because it was too heavy. So Dobo just hit on those points and made me remember that. And it was really the feet motherfucker.
She just made another video saying how
I know, and her camera fell off.
Yeah, okay. I was like, that's how I was like, I figured I had that. I'm like, anybody watch Take Me Out?
She should have got feet. She should have got feet. We got feet.
All right, well, Trent, what about you? Yeah, that's it.
No, I said the feet motherfucker, but also just from experience, like if you don't have a lot of space and you do go to one of those events or you like go to a car show or some shit, good luck trying to move around with a big ass fucking tripod and you crowded around a whole bunch of people. Like a monopod is more convenient. I just wish Sean would have came up with more real world situations.
Then my own equipment breaking and Take Me Out?
No, I'm saying like the only thing you
I hear what you're saying, bro.
The only thing you talked about was it being stable. So you could have came back and said, okay, when I go out and shoot this commercial and do this and do that, I can leave my camera on my tripod and do this and do all this other shit.
I said that, bro. I did. I said you can't leave your monopod on man. Like you can't leave a tripod on man, but you cannot leave a monopod on man.
Yeah, but you didn't follow up with more of an example. All you said was you just couldn't leave it. Like Dobo went deeper into stuff.
Okay, gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Like if I give a whole ass explanation on something, and you're just like, oh well, my shit don't break, and then like you got to follow up more with that.
All right, well, that's it, man. Dobo, how you feel? Yeah, I went on ahead and got that out of here. I don't know what. Yeah. That's somebody
How the hell they find you, man?
No, I said, well, wait a minute now.
Okay. Somebody heard Dobo's comment about porn and came in and tripping.
Man.
Yeah.
It happens. It happens.
That's the first time that happened. Dobo, how you feeling after you win, man?
Pretty good. I'm gonna, go grab an ice cold brew and have another donut. Celebrate.
Great notes.
Been really watching the carb intake up to the fight. Try to really synthesize my thoughts. It was hard. I knew I was fighting a good friend, and just had to get in the zone. The auto zone. Not fucking kidding.
Dobo's a troll. Actually, a troll.
All I know is Sean had a mother.
So who wants Dobo next? This is the question. Who in the chat want to battle Dobo? Who wants Dobo?
Which of you motherfuckers want to
Nobody wants this.
I don't know. I think Ben wants some.
Yep. Always want the smoke. Make it happen.
All right.
Always. I'm always up for it, man. You know me.
I would like that. I'll practice. I'm going to practice my best British accent, and it's going to be a very classy battle.
I would love to judge that, Mike. You know what I'm saying? Because these are two of my past.
Yeah.
Consider it done.
Yeah.
Consider it done.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll figure out a date. So y'all heard it here. Y'all heard it here. All right, folks. Well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I'm gonna let everybody enjoy the rest of their evening. Let Dobo enjoy his carbs and his victory brew. And Sean, again, thank you back for coming back, brother. I know.
Sean's shaking his head like these bitches.
Hey, but Sean, Sean thought I was getting bribed, but there was a lot of rounds where my vote saved you for being knocked out, bro. So just remember.
I see you. Respect, man.
Hey man, all I'm saying is I don't know why Sean thought I set stuff up. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a promoter. That's all I'm here for. Man. I'm just,
he's on that donking energy. I just want the views and the money. It's the views and the money.
That's all I'm here for. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, the dealer does best with his own stuff.
I'm gonna keep it a buck, bro. Dobo cheated when he pulled out that hat, bro. Because I instantly thought a Tiger King with this shirt. I'm like, bro, he cannot do this, bro. It was anything he said was just funny at the point. I'm like, okay, all right.
There was no rules, Sean. There was no rules. It's all fair and love and war.
Cool. Next time we'll come with a whole Black Panther outfit on. We'll kill him. Go over there. Don't worry about it.
All right, I'm about that.
We love the Saturday Tech Night fight. We love the Saturday Tech Night fight.
Yeah, this is dope. Man. Hey, listen, I should have had that on the whole fight, bro. You heard what I'm saying? Since he would have pulled out.
Would you rather me have talked like this and said, "Oh, that Carol Baskin"? That Carol Baskin. I mean, would you rather me did this? That son of a bitch, Carol Baskin.
No, because I would have been laughing too hard. I would have cut the mic off.
Exactly. I mean, what are you gonna do?
All right, folks. Thank you for coming by. As always, thank you for stopping by for another Saturday Night Tech Fight.
We love it.
Both Sean, Ben, Adrian, Trent, thank you guys for giving me your time this evening.
You're welcome.
Everybody in the next one. Thank you to everybody who super chatted as well, because I'm pretty sure YouTube is not going to monetize this. So you.
Oh no, it's toast.
You paid my light bill.
It's toast.
And with that said, folks, we are out. See y'all next time.